Hello, in this lesson we will be doing a quick review of Math 1. So this will be kind of a warm-up to get your skills ready for Math 2. For question 1, we want to isolate variables. Here we are solving for x. So for question A, we need to multiply the -4 in the bracket first before grouping like terms. So the next line will be this. Now we have x terms and we have constant terms. So we have to group all the x terms on one side. So I'm going to put the x terms on the left side. So that'll be 3 plus 20 minus 7x. So that'll be 16x. And the constants, I'll put it on the right side. So that'll be -6 plus 8, which is 2. So x is 2/16, which has to be reduced to 1/8. Okay, you can put this in decimal, but fractions are preferred since they are more accurate and do not have any rounding. For question B, we'll need to multiply the 6 in the bracket again, but this time we have a fraction. So the simplest way to get rid of the fraction is to cross multiply the denominator on the other side. So I'm going to do that in the same step. So 42x times 2.5 is 105x, and the numerator becomes, right, 6 times 23 and 6 times 2x. Now we have it reduced to something that we had in question A. So again, group all your x terms on one side. So if we choose the left, it will have to be 105 minus 12x. And the 138 is the only constant, so that stays on the right side. So now divide by 93. Okay, I believe 3 goes into each number, so to reduce it, divide the top and bottom by 3. And that is the answer. Question 2, we need to put in positive exponents, so we have to simplify. The A example, we have a number, we have x, y, and z variables. So here we really just have to subtract exponents on the variables to divide, and divide the number as well. So you can do this all in one step, right? 15 divided by 3, x2 divided by x5, subtract exponents. Y to the 0 is 1, and there's none in the denominator, and the z as well, 1 minus 4. Okay, now we have to put in positive exponents, so the 5 remains in the numerator and the other variables are in the denominator with a positive exponent. For B, we have to take it one step further because we have a bracket cube here, so cube each factor in the bracket. There are 3 things multiplied in the bracket, so they are each raised to the third exponent. So 2 to the 3, a to the -1 to the 3, so now we have an exponent to an exponent. Now we have to multiply exponents as well with the b squared raised to the third power. We multiply exponents. I'll rewrite the denominator. Now 2 cubed is 8, so we can write 8. Now our variables are a, b, and c, and we can do like what we did in question 2a. We can subtract exponents when dividing the variable a. Let's say we'll start with a. So a to the negative 3 divided by a, so that's negative 3 minus 1. b is 6 minus negative 2, so we have an addition here, 6 plus 2. The c, I'll leave it in the denominator because it's the only variable left. Now if we put in positive exponent, the 8 stays in the numerator because that's already a positive exponent, exponent 1. b has a positive exponent, so that will stay as well in the numerator. Now the a has a negative exponent, so we'll put that one in the denominator, and c has a negative exponent, so put it back into the numerator. Okay, for question 3, we're going to practice our graphs. You learned the straight line in Math 1. And if we put it in the standard form of mx plus b, we can see the y-intercept and the slope. So for question 3a, the y-intercept is negative 1. And the slope is 3/4. Now, no need to put this in a decimal because it's better to have it in a fraction because we have the rise, the vertical displacement, okay, over the run, which is the horizontal displacement. They are both positive. So from the y-intercept, okay, go up 3 units and over 4 units. And that is the line for question A. For question B, we need to isolate y first. So bring the other two terms on the other side of the equation, divide by 3, and now we have a y-intercept of positive 2, and a slope is negative 2/3. So it crosses the y-axis at 2. Now from this point, okay, we count the vertical displacement as negative. So go down 2 units and then over 3 units. And that is the next point on the line. Now the next questions here, okay, are relating to angles. So I'm going to need to change my screen here. Hold on. Okay, so I'll do it. There we go. So finding the angle, we're going to find it in degrees, not radians. So the first question, we have to isolate the trig ratio first and then do the arctan. So divide each side by 2.9. Now you can put this in decimal, but it's more accurate if you leave it as a fraction. I know it's not proper to have decimals inside a fraction, but if you put this in the calculator, because the angle will be the arctan, okay, and just enter this division on the calculator so you'll have more accuracy, and that's 68.3 degrees. Okay, for question B, we need to evaluate this as a number. Now this will have a lot of decimal. Okay, it is not a rational number, so try to keep all those digits in the calculator. So divide by 3 to isolate sine theta. So cos of 15 degrees is about 0.9659. Divide that by 3. You have 0.32197 and so on. So try to keep all that on your calculator. This is the arc sine. Okay, or if you can do this on the calculator, that's even more accurate. And the angle is about 18.8 degrees. Now for question C, you might recognize this from the cosine law. To isolate cos here, okay, before finding the angle. Now be careful, cos is multiplied by other numbers, so remember the order of operation. Okay, we have to move these two numbers on the other side first before dividing. Okay, and I'm going to multiply 2 times 16 times 28. Okay, now the left side, if you evaluate this, you'll get 116. Now divide by the negative number in front of cos. So you have to isolate your trig function first. Then you can use your arc cos, okay, or it's cos to the -1 notation on the calculator. Now with a negative, that means the angle will be greater than 9, and you can see that it's 97.4 degrees. Okay, so that concludes the Math 1 review. The next video will be on Module 1, Lesson 1, okay, of Math 2.